Yo, welcome back to the channel. My name is Thomas Ryan, and this is Comics 101, where we go through the ups, the downs, the lefts, the rights, oh my god, to the indie comic book space. And I go through my mistakes, my blunders, and I do it so you don't have to make the same mistakes I made and could be much more successful much faster. And my goal is pretty simple. It's to help 1 million indie comic book creators with my platform, Vivid Panel, giving them a space to earn, flourish, and grow. So with that said, let's get into the episode. So this week, we're going to talk about the importance of taking risk, right? A lot of times big businesses and big companies, they try to mitigate risk. They try to take as little risk as possible. But us as indie comic book creators and as small business people, we kind of need to lean more into the risk than try to avoid it. Now, what I'm not saying is, I'm not saying put your family at jeopardy. I'm not saying to put your livelihood at jeopardy. This is not what I'm saying. This is not what I'm saying at all. So please do not get me wrong here. I'm not saying to put everything at risk. I'm saying that there's an importance to taking risk. And now let me explain that a little bit deeper. So in the community that I grew up in, right? One of the biggest barriers to everything that we wanted to do was one simple thing. It was money. Like that was always the barrier to everything that I wanted to accomplish, everything that I wanted to achieve. I had the drive, I had the willingness, I had the determination, but I did not have the money, right? And that was always a factor in why I could not do something. But as time went on, I got a little bit older. I started making more. I started earning more, right? I did some things to help me earn more. And then when I finally got the money, that stuck with me. It stuck with me. Like I had been so long without money in my life that when I finally got money, I never wanted to let it go. When I finally got it, I just didn't. I wouldn't spend on anything because I had that underlying fear within myself saying, man, if I spend this, I could possibly go broke again. I could be broke again like I was before, and I never want to be broke again. And although it was well intended, that mindset can be crippling to you. It can be crippling to your business and its growth. So when I speak about the value of taking risks, I speak about overcoming fear more than anything. A lot of times the reason why we do not want to do things is because of fear. We're scared. We don't know what's going to happen, right? So that's why a lot of businesses, they're very risk adverse. They don't know what's going to happen. So what they do is they try to analyze what is going to happen or what can happen and what's the most likelihood of something happening. And then they're going to go with that because they know that it's likely not to lose. And fearing losing is crippling. And I believe that's something we have an advantage in at being indie guys, is that we can lean into risk, right? We can lean into risk and take a shot because, you know, we don't have as much to lose as, let's say, a billion-dollar company, right? So we can actually lean into those things and try things and do things that other companies just won't even try. They won't even give it a shot. And I think that's one of the beautiful parts of being indie is that, you know, we can create whatever we feel, whatever's in our heart. We can create it, and there's nobody over us to say, well, no, that's a bad idea. We're not gonna go with that one today, Thomas. But good try, right? There's no one around to tell me that except myself. So I think that's the beauty of this space. But as far as taking risks, I recently took a risk, and I took a risk with my platform, Vivid Panel. It's a hybrid app. And, you know, there's other apps out there that exist and, you know, I'm competing against, I guess, very big companies, you know, when you talk about the biggest publishing companies in the world with their apps, you know, and it seems like a very bad idea. And had it been with a company, under a company, funded by a company, it probably would never happen. But Vivid Panel is a risk in that I don't know what it will turn out to be. You know, I could release it. It's released now, and it could never become anything close to what I expect for it to become, or it could, you know. So I mean, that's just the part of that's just a part of the game. But I think the biggest risk is that, you know, I paid about $14,000 in total to get the thing built from beginning, from ground up, code from ground up, we built this thing to be exactly what I wanted it to be for indie comic book creators. So it's a risk, I mean, well, really, it's not really a risk because the money's already spent, but it's a risk, because will I make back the 14? I don't know. It's a possibility, but it's still kind of up in the air when I think about it. So, but being able to do it and actually be able to complete that was very, very invigorating for me. It let me know that the boundaries that were once on me are now broken. I'm not necessarily bound by funds or bound by lack of having. I'm only bound by my willingness to complete the thing and my willingness to really dive into the thing that I want to do. And I think that it's important for us to really explore that area of ourselves and really just try to say, man, it's gonna cost me this much per page to get this book done, but when I get it done, it becomes an asset for me, right? Because now you get it done once, you can sell it digitally 1,000,000 times, you can sell it at a comic convention 1,000,000 times, you can it becomes an asset for you. So it's important to really just push through those notions of like, well, what if it doesn't work? What if it doesn't? And what if it doesn't? Like you have to kind of almost be content with the fact that, maybe it will not, but if it's your passion, then it's well worth it at the end of the day. If it's something that you really believe in, it's well worth it at the end of the day, because you don't know who's watching at the end of the day. You might inspire someone else to do the next thing that might be greater than the thing that you've done because you took the risk. And then now this new awesome thing has been put into the world just because somebody's seeing like, wow, like you actually took the time and invested and built that. That's awesome. Maybe I should take the time and really take the investment and build my thing because I can see that it's possible. So that's something that I want to show to other kids, to other people, to other creators, to my kids, and really let them know that, sometimes you have to take a shot on yourself when no one else will. Because a lot of times, 99% of the time, no one else will. No one else would have gave me $14,000 to create this platform for myself and other creatives. Nobody would have really gave me that. So if I would have relied on that and relied on, someone else to fuel my dream, then it probably wouldn't have came true. And that's just kind of like not a sad reality, but it's a real reality of where we are and what we're doing in the space that we operate in. But I say that again, and I say, don't, you're not going to like risk your livelihood. You're not going to not pay your rent. You're not going to like be like, I'm going to ignore all these bills. I'm going to take this risk. That's recklessness. That's not risk. That's just being reckless. But to say, you know what, I can do this and I'm going to do this because I believe in it. And that's a risk willing to take. I feel like that's a worthy risk to take, and it's a noble risk to take. So definitely be open to doing something that you just feel, because a lot of times the things that you feel and the things that you feel will work, you're likely the only person that will feel that way a lot of the times. Like, granted, like, your family might be like, yeah, man, go ahead and try it. But most people will not be as receptive to the idea as much as you are a lot of the times. And it's not until it becomes the thing that you always dreamed of it becoming, and after you done spent years and years and years working on it, that those people will say, you know what, that's great. I believed in that since the beginning. But a lot of times it's a lonely path, it's a solo path to really putting your dreams out there and creating the things that you want to create. So understand that, it doesn't have to be lonely. It doesn't have to be sad, but just understand that a lot of times with these things, if you don't do it, then it won't be done. Nobody's going to do it for you. And if they do it for you, they're not going to do it for free. And if they're not doing it for free, they're not going to do it for cheap. So you're better off just betting on yourself, investing in yourself, and just doing the thing that you said that you want to do. And it might require some sacrifice sometimes. Maybe I'm not going to take this trip because instead I'm going to take this money and I'm going to put it into this thing that I believe in. I believed in this and yeah, it's going to cost me a trip. It's going to cost me one trip to, I don't know, wherever, Cancun. It's going to cost me one trip to Cancun, but I feel like it'll return more in the future for us. So this is what I'm going to do, and this is how I'm going to move on this situation. At the end of the day, ladies, gentlemen, friends, creatives, don't be afraid to take risks. All right. Don't risk your family, don't risk your livelihood, but don't be afraid to really push for the things that you believe in, because that's what's going to help this space grow. We talking about indie comic books. This is what's going to help the space grow. This is what's going to inspire. This is what's going to encourage. The things that we leave behind for others is really what's going to help. It's going to be the platform for other people of the next generation to have a step up and be at a different point than we were when we started. So, yeah. Risks are important. Take risks. Be bold, and be bold in your creations. Be bold in your ideas. And with that said, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for chilling with me. And if I was able to encourage you, if I was able to give you some gems, give you something that you can use in your journey, your creative journey, then consider subscribing. Consider doing all the algorithm stuff. The likes, the comments, and everything like that. I see all the comments. I see all of the responses, and I appreciate every last one of them. Thank you so much for the love. My name is Thomas Ryan, and I will see you in the next episode. Peace.